Welcome to the Kemar Chronicles. I am Kemar, and I am so excited to share my stories with you. Are you ready to read book 1 with me? If you haven't already, go and get your book 1. Then we can make a start. Hurry up! Are you ready? Because you are in for a treat.
Affirmation. Even in the darkest night, my light shines bright. I am guided, I am safe, I am strong.
This story is called Kemar, the light in the dark.
In the heart of a small Jamaican village nestled between the Blue Mountains and the sea, lived a little boy named Kemar. Kemar loved mangoes, climbing trees, and listening to stories from Mama Z. He was 8 years old, curious, kind, and always full of questions. But Kemar had a fear he couldn't shake. He feared the dark. When the sun went down and the sky turned black, Kemar was afraid. Every night, as the sun dipped below the hills and shadows stretched across the village, Kemar's chest would tighten. The trees outside his window looked like monsters. The hoots of owls sounded like ghostly whispers. The dark made the bushes look like giants. The wind whispered strange things through the windows. No matter how many times his grandmother, Mama Z, told him the dark was nothing to fear, each night, he would dive under his blanket, trembling. "Please don't let the shadows get me," he would pray. "Make peace with the dark, my child," Mama Z would say. "But how?" Kemar asked. "The dark only hide mystery," she smiled. "Not monsters." One evening, the village held its full moon Nyabingi ceremony, a spiritual gathering of drums, chants, and prayer. It was held deep in the hills, where no electric lights reached. Mama Z called out, "Tonight is Nyabingi, under the full moon. Come, Kemar." Kemar's heart thumped. "But it's dark out there." She took his hand gently. "Sometimes, light live inside the dark." "Me 'fraid, Mama Z," he whispered, holding her hand tightly. Mama Z smiled, her wrinkled face warm and strong. "The darkness don't hide evil, child. It hide mystery and sometimes, the presence of Jah himself." Up the winding hill they walked. The night air was cool, and the stars blinked above. Far in the distance, he heard the beat of drums, boom, bom, bom. Soft voices chanted in rhythm with the fire. With great hesitation, Kemar joined her. As they climbed the path into the hills, the only light came from the full moon and the fire glowing in the distance. The sound of drums echoed through the night, slow, steady, and ancient. When they arrived, people were sitting in a circle around a large fire. The elders began to drum, slow and deep. Their hands moved like waves on the sea. Some had their eyes closed, swaying to the rhythm. Others beat drums with deep passion. Suddenly, the elders began chanting in unison, invoking the name of Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari, ever living, ever faithful, ever sure. The fire flickered, the trees rustled, and Kemar felt a strange warmth wrap around him. The darkness no longer seemed threatening. It felt alive with something powerful, peaceful, sacred. Kemar sat quietly. He felt something warm in his chest. Not fear. Something else. He closed his eyes. In the dark behind them, he saw light. Soft. Golden. Alive. As he closed his eyes, he saw not monsters, but light, a golden, pulsing energy within the dark. He felt a presence, like a great love watching over him. It wrapped around him like a hug. It whispered, "You are safe, little one. You are never alone." Tears welled in his eyes, not from fear, but from awe. For the first time, Kemar understood what Mama Z meant. Tears slipped down his cheeks, but he wasn't sad. He felt full of peace and wonder. Mama Z placed her hand on his back. "You feel him, not true?" Kemar nodded. "Yes, Mama. I feel him. I don't feel afraid no more." She opened her arms and pulled him into a hug. "That's Jah light, me child. It shine inside you now. Once it touch you spirit, darkness can't frighten you again." As the fire faded, they walked home slowly. The moon followed them like a lantern in the sky. Kemar looked up at the stars and smiled. The night no longer felt scary, it felt holy. Kemar closed his eyes and whispered the words, "Thank you, Jah." Not because someone told him to, but because something inside him felt different now. The fear that had once crawled through his belly whenever the sun disappeared was gone. It was like the stars were watching over him. Like he wasn't alone. From that day on, Kemar never feared the dark again. To him, it was no longer a place of shadows, but a space where the spirit of light lived quietly, waiting to be seen. He still loved climbing trees and chasing goats through the yard. But he also began lighting candles with Mama Z in the evenings, giving thanks for the day. He also joined the reasoning circles and beat the drum at Nyabingi gatherings with confidence. And when little ones cried in the night, Kemar would sit beside them and tell them his story. About the moon, the drums, and the light he found in the dark.
That's the end of our story. Did you enjoy it? If the answer is yes, then give me a thumbs up. This lets me know you like it. What have you learned? Share your comments with us, or even follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and join our community. Introduce me to your friends and family, share me, then watch me grow and improve. Are you ready for your reflections and activities? First, you have to design your drum. Then, complete your word search. Identify the landscapes. Ooh, this is important for you to understand. Then, finally write a short piece about the night sky. Make sure you do your research to get facts. It would be great if you shared pictures or videos of your completed activities with me on Instagram. I would love to see. Now let's have a look at some of the key words that were used in this story.
Glossary of words. Nyabingi. A sacred Rastafari gathering with drumming, chanting, and prayer. It is a time for unity, spiritual connection, and giving thanks. Jah. The name for God in Rastafari faith. Jah represents love, truth, and light that lives in everyone and everything. Rastafari. A spiritual way of life that began in Jamaica. Rastafari believe in peace, natural living, and the power of Jah. Zinc roof. A common roof in Jamaican homes made from corrugated metal sheets. When it rains or the wind blows, it makes loud, tapping sounds. Drums. Used in Nyabingi ceremonies to send messages to the spirit world, to praise Jah, and to bring people together. Ever living, ever faithful, ever sure. A phrase chanted by Rastafari that means Jah is always present, always loving, and always true. Full moon. A time when the moon is big and bright in the night sky. In the story, it lights the way to the Nyabingi gathering. Firelight. The warm, flickering light from a flame, used in ceremonies to gather, pray, heal, cleanse and feel connected to nature and spirit. And a special message from Ms. Roots. Sometimes the very thing we fear is where the light lives. The dark isn't something to fear, it's something to know. It is in the stillness of the night that we hear the wisdom of our ancestors, the rhythm of the drums, and sometimes, the quiet voice of Jah, the Most High. Kemar and the Light in the Dark was born from real conversations with children who feel afraid at night and my desire to remind them that even in fear, they are never alone. In Rastafari spirituality, darkness is not just a shadowy space, it is a sacred space. A place for deep listening, spiritual connection, and personal growth. Nyabingi gatherings, like the one in this story, are sacred Rastafari ceremonies. Through chant, drum, and prayer, they give thanks and call upon Jah's presence. The drum doesn't only make music, it speaks. It heals. It connects us to Source. Through Kemar's journey, I hope children see that. Fear is natural. Courage is within us. And the dark can be holy, too. With love, wisdom, and a little spiritual guidance, even the deepest shadows can become a place of light. May this story inspire you and your little ones to listen deeply, walk bravely, and trust the light within. Love. Join our community. Be part of Kemar's growth. At the Kemar. Chronicles. TikTok. Instagram, YouTube,